Hey everybody, Glenn Younes again for my reoccurring video blog here on PressBoxOnline.com. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, a fabulous holiday. I traveled back in Baltimore, of course, for a week now, and it was just wonderful. Let's get into a couple main topics. Ravens and Terps. Will start with hoops first. We know that Tuesday night game against Carolina down in North Carolina against the Tar Heels. Terps turned the ball over at a ridiculous rate. The first half was a joke. Second half wasn't much better, although they actually did take the lead in the second half, did the Terps. 22 turnovers is not the Terps hoops team that you want to see go out there, even if Carolina is a lot better than their number 9 ranking and maybe better with Page now healthy and closer to the Carolina's number 1 preseason ranking. Carolina's a great team, okay? This has nothing to do with the Terps went up against a good team, fought hard even though they were down most of the game, turned the ball over at a crazy rate, but were still in it and could have won that game. That's not the topic, okay? The topic is the flaws that we've been seeing in this Terps team, as good and talented and young as they are starting to continue to show. And the better competition you play, the more flaws get shown, right? I mean, that's just super simple logic. We have talked about this before the Carolina game, a blog right here on PressBoxOnline.com. And of course, as always, thank you to our sponsor, Carbiz. Check them out online, Carbiz.com. We talked about it in this very blog. Watch for the turnovers. Watch for the camaraderie. The first halves are too slow for the Maryland Terrapins. Proved the exact same thing against Carolina, a much better team. Here's the problem. You have a lot of expectations for the Maryland Terrapins this year because they are uber talented. The chemistry, the point guard play of Trimble, that's going to be there. Suleiman being an aggressive too, that's going to be there. Depth at point, that's a problem. When teams go small on Maryland, that's a problem, right? This is just what it is. If Jared Nickens isn't hitting from the outside, it changes the dynamic of that team when they go small against the Terps. Now to Jake Layman. On paper, we get it. I'm sick of it. We've had this conversation for years and years now, knowing what he's capable of. 4 points, 28 minutes, that is so unacceptable for that guy. I tweeted it, G-Unit Radio, you can follow me on Twitter. He is shy on his talents, and when he has more talent around him, you know what he does? Instead of shining, he hides. And I just don't know what it is. Jake Layman's got to turn it around. There it is with the Terps. And by the way, Terps are crazy talented. They're going to be fine. It's a very long season. That's not a terrible win against Carolina, who's really a top 5 team. I mean, Carolina is the real deal as well. So if you think, hey, look, the Terps can score on anybody, and they did against Carolina, they can come back on anybody, they did against Carolina, and they could have won that game despite 22 turnovers against Carolina. Okay, you can look at that bright side, and that's there. I'm talking like Final Four aspirations for Maryland, and we need to get some of this stuff buttoned up. Pumped for the season, which is why we need to get this stuff buttoned up. Now to the Ravens in Miami at the Dolphins this coming weekend. Listen, a pair of 4-7 teams. I don't know what to make of this. Here's what I do know, and we'll piggyback off our buddy Mike Preston from the Baltimore Sun, saying maybe the Ravens have found their backs in Buck Allen and Terrence West. Maybe they have. That comment speaks to what I've been talking about for a couple weeks now here, and really a couple years. This is a restart season. Let's see what kind of talent depth you have. Empty the benches, youth movement. Let's see if we can develop talent in real games that don't really matter. If the Ravens go to Miami and beat the Dolphins, great. And you can look at the numbers and see where they may fit in the wild card. That's fine too. I'm not having any part of that. What I am having a part of is, okay, you know what? Maybe Kamar Aiken is a fine player to play on your team in the slot when you have other deep ball threats, real tight ends, a running back, and an offensive line, right? He's not a super duper star, but he's more than just an average NFL player. Maybe we're seeing that. That's what I want to keep seeing. Empty the benches. Empty them out. Buck Allen, Terrence West, et al. Then the last thing about the reset, and this is assuming Joe Flacco continues to be healthy after rehabbing from now his knee injuries, ACL, MCL. They should have, Ravens got hot last year, and that's great. This is one of those restart seasons that you're happy to have if you're looking long term, because you still have a quarterback that can get you over the hump for the next 4 and 5 years. When you reset and retool and reload, the Ravens can be back winning. I don't know who's going to win this weekend. Call it Miami 23-21 in a close game. Could go the other way. Outcome doesn't matter. Talent development does for me. All right. Thanks so much. This will do it for me. As always, you can find me right here, PressBoxOnline.com. Follow me on Twitter at GUnitRadio. And thank you, as always, to our sponsor, CarBiz. Awesome car dealership here in Baltimore. Check them out online, carbiz.com. Till next time, I'm Glenn Younes. I'll talk to you.